Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this session by FYERS. We are conducting this webinar today to talk about the launch of currency trading on the BSE platform for FYERS customers. As you all might be aware, FYERS is one of the first few brokers in India to partner up with BSE to launch currencies. Today, we have Mr. Vinay Kumar from Bombay Stock Exchange to discuss and enlighten us about the advantages of trading currencies on the BSE platform. So without further ado, I invite Mr. Vinay Kumar to take the stage and discuss about trading currencies on the BSE platform. Over to you, Vinay.
Thank you, Mr. Pranavji. Good evening to all those who are joining now. Pranavji, I can see more people joining. Should we wait for 1 minute?
That's fine. I mean, the recording is still available, so you can go ahead.
Okay. So, thank you. So let me introduce myself. My name is Vinay Kumar. I'm a business development manager for Bombay Stock Exchange, Karnataka region. I will share my screen. I hope it is visible. Pranavji, if you can confirm. Yeah, thank you. So welcome all once again. So today's session will be on currency derivatives offering from Bombay Stock Exchange. FYERS is now live on BSE currency derivatives. So today's session will be an introduction to currency derivatives, BSE, what are the offerings from BSE, what is the advantage of trading in currency derivative on BSE only. We will not be discussing on any sort of strategies or any predictions here. So this is just an elementary introduction to the currency derivative exchange or currency derivative segment. I will keep my video closed so that it can be easy. So we'll go further. Currency derivative, I believe everybody understands derivative as a concept all. Okay, currency derivative is one of the, not one of, is the largest traded segment around the world. Though in India, it is actually now coming up, but in around the globe, currency is the highest traded segment and trades 24 hours. One or the other exchange will be operating on currency derivatives. Not just the exchanges, we have central banks also who use currency derivative exchange to take care of the currency, this one. So we'll go further. We'll go into the setup of current market setup of currency derivatives. So there are two setups. One is the exchange traded setup where you will be trading on the exchanges, where we have futures and options. There are three exchanges in India who are offering currency derivatives. One is BSE, NSE, and Metropolitan Stock Exchange, MSCI. So we have the traditional route, what we call it as OTC, over the counter. Obviously, in that, one is the banks and corporates. Banks are regulated by RBI. And we have non-regulated entities who do it on spot, forwards, and option contracts. Forwards, anyhow, as you all know, it's not a regulated and non-organized way of transactions. In case of exchange traded, it is regulated by RBI also and SEBI also. And it is all organized, regulated market setup. So we have futures and options in currencies in exchange traded setup. If you have any doubts, I can also speak in Hindi. I forgot to tell. If you have any doubts, you can later on ask in Hindi also. I'll be happy to address it. So what are the OTC in Indian situation? What is the OTC market? So Indian currency market is the 18th largest in market terms of daily turnover. This is slightly little old data, but as of now, it's very high. Forex market turnover increased approximately by 8 billion in 2005 to nearly 114 billion in 2019. So there is a huge growth in market turnover in Forex. We offer up to 1.1% of global Forex market. And OTC market in India, in case of banks, is regulated by Reserve Bank of India. Though other non-regulated will also refer to the RBI reference rate for exchanges. In case of exchange traded concept or exchange setup, it started in India in 2008 and 10 with the introduction of USD INR, Euro INR, Great Britain pound INR, but Japan was introduced in 2010. That is why we have shown both the date. In 2008, we had USD INR, Euro INR, and Great Britain pound INR. Yan INR came in 2010. So daily average initially in 2008 was 1,200 crore. It increased to nearly 70,700 crores in 2021. And in last first half of this 2023, there was a daily average turnover of about 1.59 trillion rupees. So there has been a huge growth in equity exchange traded currency derivative market. So cross currencies was also introduced. Cross currencies, that means we are referring to the currencies that are Euro, USD, Great Britain pound USD and USD yarn, not just INR. We are cross reference to the foreign currencies also. This was introduced in 2018. And again in July 30th, 2018, weekly futures and options contracts were also launched. As I said earlier, in case of exchange regulation, we are regulated by RBI and SEBI also. This graph shows you a growth. As I said, initially it was about 1,200 crore. There are certain instances when there were restrictions imposed due to regulatory constraints, wherein we have seen a fall in the participation. As you can see, the volume had fall, and whenever these restrictions were removed, we have seen growth coming. So as I said earlier, the highest as of now was in first half of financial year 23-24, when it was rupees 1.59 trillion of volume. Average daily turnover was seen. Now, would like to introduce the factors that are affecting a currency derivative. See, usually when we do transactions or when we introduce to an exchange or a segment, we need to know what are the factors that influence the momentum of that particular asset category, or in case of this currency. Sorry. So these are we just put it in few points. The factors that affect the momentum of currencies. Some are the economic indicators like GDP, employment rate, PPT, and these factors. We have internal economical, political scenarios also. Any change in government, any coalition government or hung assemblies, all those things impact. Internal fundamental factors like countries' GDP, inflation, commodity prices. Like we are dependent on crude. The crude oil prices will also impact the trade balances. Okay, and capital inflows, such as the inflows coming from FIERS and FDIs. Central bank interventions. This comes whenever central bank intervene in the market momentum by buying and selling the currencies. Policy decisions by other banks also, like ECB increasing their rates, also the internal banks increasing their rates also. The fluctuations happening in the cross currencies, Euro, USD, Great Britain pound, USD, Yan, and USD dollars. The fluctuations happening in those currencies will also impact the Indian rupee valuations. And momentum or the participation happening in other commodities or other exchange segments also, like in equity, debt, commodity markets, also has some sort of impact on the rupee currency momentum. These are some of the points, just few points. This is basically what can impact which way in case of, we are talking now on USD and INR. How does INR interact? So when this is also a concept of supply and demand kind of a thing. Whenever there is a increase in demand for dollar, we are seeing dollar appreciating. That means the rupee depreciates further. So in case of increase in exports, we have seen dollar depreciating because there is an inflow of dollar coming. There is a supply happening. So rupee has appreciated. Selling of USD dollars by RBI, that is also impact because there is a supply of dollar coming into the market. So we may see some depreciation in dollars. Similarly, remittance from our NRI friends will also impact slightly on the dollar because there is also a supply. Positive trade balance, whenever the trade balance is positive, that also impacts, depreciates the dollar, appreciates the rupee. In case of imports, higher imports, there is a demand for dollar internally, so there is a price appreciations. Similarly, commodities, like we are highly dependent on crude imports, so we are in need of dollar. So there is a demand for dollar. So in that times also we can see the dollar appreciations. FII buying bags, they would demand in dollars. So again, there is a demand for dollar. In those cases also, we have seen dollar appreciations. Similarly, when RBI buys back the dollar also, we have seen the demand for dollar. So there is a chances of appreciations in dollar. Now, BSE currency derivative. So this session is on BSE. What does BSE has to offer? BSE launched its currency derivatives in 2013 with a daily average turnover of about 26,490 crore in 2021. That was the highest, which was at 550 crore in the first initial year. About 2013, it was just 550 crore, but we clocked 26,490 crore in the year 2020 and 2021. We launched USD INR weekly futures and options contract on 30th of July 2018. And below we are finding what are the contracts that are available. Futures monthly, we have USD INR, Euro INR, Great Britain Pound INR, and Yan INR. In case of cross currency, we have Euro USD, Great Britain Pound USD, and USD Japan Yen. And in case of weekly options and futures, we are available only on USD INR. Why one should trade in currency? Option derivatives are available in others also. So the uniqueness of currency, apart from all those global factors that we have spoken about, for anybody who initially trying currency, the currency requires very low margin, whereas in equity you may require nearly about 5 figures. Here the requirement is very less because the fluctuation in case of currency is very range bound, very limited. And in case of options, the premium can be as low as 200 also. So if anybody who is new to options, who want to try options or futures, they can start in currency to familiarize themselves. Easy fundamentals. Fundamentals understanding, as we spoke earlier, is easy depending upon the supply and also the inflationary figures. You can predict certain momentum of currencies. You don't have to go into fundamental technical aspects like we do in equities. There are no newses coming on promoter holding, sellings, and all. So those things and all are not there. So this is easy fundamentals. There are no corporate action happening here, which may also impact the momentum. Those things and all is not there. You can use all the strategies that you use on other option derivative segments here also. Transaction cost in case of BSE is also low. We will discuss about it in future. And peak margin requirement is also low because the margin requirement itself is very low. So there are no peak margin impacts observed here. These are the specifications, contracts that are available. So we said what and all the currency pair. So the pair has been shown here. All the contracts that are traded in currency is about a lot size of 1,000. So reference will be to 1,000 US dollar, but the price quotation will be per dollar. So lot size is 1,000. Tick size. Tick size is the momentum of price. So if anybody is new for currency, usually the tick size in equity derivative is 5 paisa. So every momentum upside or downside happens in 5 paisa. But in case of currency, the momentum is quarter of a paisa, 25th of a paisa. So it's 0.25 paisa. It's not 25 paisa, 25th of a paisa. So it is 4 decimal 0.0025. So it will move quarter of a paisa upside, quarter of a paisa downside. So every 4 quarter of a paisa momentum will lead to 1 paisa momentum. Similarly, 10 such momentums will lead to 10 paisa momentum. So that is about 40 moments upside or 40 moment downside for it to move to 10 paisa. Price quotation, as I said, per dollar, how many rupees we have to pay. Similarly, per euro, how many rupees. Per pound, how many rupees is the price quotations. Trading hours is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In case of cross currencies, it is still 7:30 p.m. in the evening. Contract cycles that are available weekly. Exchange offers 11 weekly expiry contracts, and weekly contract expiries happens on every Friday. But in case of monthly contracts, we need to be mindful that it expires 2 days prior to the last working day or business day of that particular month. So if the particular month, the last business day is on 31st, which happens to be on Monday, the expiry will not happen on Friday like in weekly, or Thursday like in any other equity derivatives. It will be on Thursday because that is the 2 days prior to the last working day. And if the last working day happens to be an holiday, so we have to be look at the 2 days prior to that week, previous week's 2 days before the last working days. And also the expiry will happen at 12:30 p.m. because that is when the RBI reference rates comes. So somebody may confuse, they may wait for entire day on last expiry day, but be mindful that price quotation will run up to 12:30. Afterwards, it will stop working because the RBI reference rate will be coming in. Strike price. Now, strike price, we have something called strike price interval. Strike prices that are available at an interval of 25 paisa also and 10 paisa also. For an example, today's currency, let's just say USD INR is at 83 rupees. So you will have strike prices at, in case of Euro, Great Britain pound and Yuan, it will be at 83.25, 83.50, 83.75 and 84. Similarly, on the downside, it will be 82.75, 82.50, 82.25 and 82. But in case of USD INR, apart from this 25 paisa strike prices, we also have 10 paisa strike prices. So apart from that 83.25, we also have 83.10, 20, 30, 40, 50 was already there, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 10. So 90 paisa, 80 paisa strike prices also available. This is unique to BSE. Even in NSE, there is 12.5 rupee paisa has been introduced now. I think everybody are informed about that one. So because of this 10 paisa introduction, we'll be having 30 in the money contracts and 30 out of the money contracts and 1 at the money contracts in each call and put options. If anybody has any doubts, please note down. We will answer to it at the end of the sessions. Margin requirement is span-based initial margin requirement, but here it is very less, about 3%. Settlement is T+1 and it is cash settled. There are no delivery settlement here, no physical settlements. It's all cash settles. Nobody has to deliver dollars here or pounds in case of BSE currency derivatives. This is the what you can say market watch or price quote window, market depth window also called. As you can see, this is currency futures of USD INR. We are seeing 5 best buyers and 5 best sellers. So that is the highest bidder and lowest seller. As you can see, the current available price is highest bidder is at 81.75 the contract value here will be, because the lot size is 1000, it will be 81,795. Similarly, sell side, the availability is at 81.7950. So the contract size will be 81,750 rupees. 2 ticks will give you 50 paisa. Or as you can see, sell one lot at 1000 quantity. That is same thing has been shown there. Profit of 1 tick. So if there is a 1 tick momentum, you bought it at 81 rupees 79 paisa. So even with 1 tick, that is about 0.0025, a quarter of a paisa momentum will give you a gain of 2.5 rupees, because it's a lot size of 1000. So 4 such move will give you 10 rupees gain. And for it to move to turn to 100 rupees, it has to move 40 ticks. It is also called as pips in some market terminologies. So every tick will give you 2.5 rupees gain or loss. This is how the calculation is done. Profit for 1 tick of 0.0025, quarter of a paisa, is 2.5 rupees. So when you buy one lot at 81.7950, so the one lot is 81,797. And when you sell one lot at 81 rupees 79 paisa 75 quota, you have made one lot is equal to 81,797.50. Profit for above transactions, actually it has to be 50 paisa. There is some calculation mistake there. So 1 tick above will give you 25 paisa. 20, that is quarter of a paisa. For one lot, it is 2.5 rupees. 4 ticks will give you 1 paisa, which is about 10 rupees gain. USD, yeah. So this is in case of currencies, if anybody is new, it will be 2 currencies pair. USD is the base currency. INR is the code currency or reference currency. So for every $1, we have to use the reference price of rupees. How many rupees per dollar? So you buy $1, rupees will be quoted in the screen as we shown in the screen. And in case of here, the terminology is slightly different. If rupee appreciating means rupee is going down. So though numerically the rupee will go down, that means rupee is appreciating. Value-wise, rupee is appreciated. In case of rupee depreciating means rupee is going up. So in case of rupee depreciating means the value of rupee is gone down, though the numerically the rupee will go up. The number of units will go up. So it is 81.7950 as we see on the screen. I don't know if my cursor is visible or not. So if rupee appreciates, that means rupee has gained the value, then it will go down from 81 rupees 7925. So though the value or the numerical value has gone down, the value of the rupee has appreciated. Similarly, when the value or the rupee depreciates, the number that is 7950 will go to 7975. So it is slightly confusing for the anybody who is new to currency. So in case of appreciation, the numerical value will go down. In case of depreciation, the numerical value will go down. Margin requirement, this was calculated also on that day. About for one lot, about 2,000 rupees. Similarly, for 10 lots, it will be 20,000 rupees. So movement of 10 paisa for 10 lots will give you about 100 rupees of gain. Premium calculation, we said the lowest premium can be as low as 200 rupees also, which is what's shown here, because the most of the premium here is not in rupees, it is usually in paisas. So as you can see, for one lot of what we call 82 call, we have to pay a premium of at 1275, it will be 127 rupees 50 paisa. And 10 paisa momentum, if that tick has moved 10 paisa, when you sell it at 222.75, you'll be making 227.50. So 100 rupees gain has come there. Similarly, for 100 lots, same has been shown in the calculation here. So instead of 127 rupees, even if you bought 100 lots, the total requirement will be 12,750 rupees. A 10 paisa momentum, that is 40 ticks above. So your gain will be 10,000 rupees reflecting there. So when you exit, it will be 227.50. In case of margins, in case of option writing, margin is required just like our equity derivatives. Now, why BSE? In case of BSE, in case of options, BSE is charging very low transaction charges. Exchange transaction charges in BSE is just 100 rupees per crore premium. We are not talking about other charges. This is just exchange transaction charges, which is about 100 rupees per crore premium. Whereas in other exchanges, it is about 3,500 rupees. So after GST, it has a substantial difference in one's total profit equations. So this is where the BSE is offering best advantage. That is, the transaction charges levied by BSE is lowest. We were talking about unique strike prices. Unique strike prices in case of BSE is 10 paisa. One may ask why this was introduced. What was the idea behind 10 paisa? In case of currency, it was a demand from the market that usually in an average momentum in a currency per day is seen about 15 to 20 paisa momentum. So in case of 25 paisa, it was felt that strike price realization was not happening. In order to provide that benefit and also to provide more spread and hedging option, exchange decided to introduce 10 paisa strike prices. So as you can see, between 83 to 83.25, there are two more strike prices available for one to take position. If anybody wants to take a hedging position, they also have a nearest strike price available at a relatively lower premium. So this offers more hedging options, or so if anybody wants to take the premium benefit by selling, that also options available here at 10 paisa strike prices. And we have seen strike price realization happening at a very good pace because of this lowered strike intervals from 25 paisa to 10 paisa. But exchange continues to provide 25 paisa strike prices also. We have not stopped that. We are also providing 10 paisa strike prices. This option is only available in USD INR options, weekly options. Okay, this is not available on Euro or Euro INR or Great Britain Pound INR. This is only for USD INR options where we are providing 10 paisa strike price intervals. Some more information. Currently on currency derivatives, there are about 606 members who are active on BSE, including FYERS. And in that, about 28 of them are banks. The active trading members are 395. Total daily traded members are about 411. So we have seen active participation happening from the market. That is all with regard to BSE currency. I am open for question. Pranavji?
Yes, Vijay. Thanks for everything. So the audience has a couple of questions, and we would like to take up some questions from the audience now. Before we actually take up the questions, I do have to show the audience as to where they can get started with where to exactly look for BSE currencies on the platform. So just come over to trade.fyers.in, and over here, if you type something like USD INR, you'll find the BSE contracts listed right here. So whatever starts from BSE are the BSE contracts. So with that said, the audience has a couple of questions for you, Vijay. So the first question is, will Fed rate cut have an impact on the currency markets? If so, could you please elaborate?
Yes, any rate cuts will have an impact on currency of any countries. Like if the rate cut is there, so there is an interest reduction in their side. So what happens is in that case, the uh, deposits become less interest for those people who are getting lesser interest there. So chances of them moving to other markets where there are better interest comes into picture. So usually they remove their dollar from there and make an investment in those countries where there is a higher interest rates.
Understood. The second question is there cash settlement for futures in BSE currencies?
Yes, yes. There is no physical settlement in currencies. It's all cash settled on.
Yes. The third question is the tick size in BSE 10 paise versus 25 paise in NSE?
No. See, that's a confusion. Tick's price is 0.0025. That's a quarter of a paise. That is same everywhere. 10 paise is the strike intervals, the number of strikes that are available for options. So the strike price is 83 rupees. So next strike price will be 83.10. So that is 83.10 paisa. So it is not the tick size, it is the strike price.
Understood. So I do not think that there are any other relevant questions from the audience today. So with that said, thanks a lot, Vinay, for coming over and talking about how people can get started on the BSE platform, trading currencies on the BSE platform, and how exactly it is beneficial for them. So with that said, we'd like to conclude this session. And for those of you who want this session to be conducted in Hindi, आगे जाके हम लोग जो भी सेशन कंडक्ट करने वाले हैं अबाउट बीएससी करेंसीज, एक एंड टू एंड हिंदी का जो है एक सेशन रख लेंगे जिसमें हम लोग वी विल ट्राई टू टॉक अबाउट बीएससी करेंसीज प्योरली इन हिंदी. So with that said, thanks everyone for joining our session. And if you have any other questions, all of you know where to find us. You can come to FYERS Community and just type FYERS Community on Google. Come over there and post your questions. Myself and my team will be available at your disposal on the FYERS Community platform. We'll come over there and answer any questions that you may have. So thanks everyone for taking your time out and coming over. Thanks, Vinay, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope it was informative and useful.
Yes.
We can further conduct sessions in other languages also, like you said, in Hindi.
Sure.
And more informations can be shared through your platform. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for the